Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about HIMS, a stock that has been at the center of a lot of criticism lately and that's reporting earnings tomorrow. Now, despite what many people are saying, that sentiment on HIMS has turned negative, I personally think that the future looks very bright. Most of the bearish arguments you will hear are focused purely on the short term. No one knows if HIMS will hit $100 a share first or drop back into the 30s. But honestly, it's not hard to understand that this business, a few years from now, will be much bigger than it is today. And that will absolutely be reflected in its market cap. The real issue, as always, is that most so-called investors think in quarters, when the minimum time horizon for a real investment should be at least 5 years. So, let's break down what's going on and why I believe HIMS is going to become much bigger. Recently, posts from HIMS House caused a stir on X. They went from being one of the most bullish communities on HIMS to suddenly turning bearish. A lot of the investors start to panic, especially since HIMS is now down about 30% from its February highs and 30% just in the last 2 weeks. The stock had peaked in euphoria when CEO Andrew Dudum reposted a tweet from Antonio that many believed was the beginning of the long-awaited short squeeze. As we know, HIMS is a heavily shorted stock, and when the price starts climbing, shorts are forced to cover their position, which drives the price even higher. But right after that, the announcement of a scheduled share sale from Dudum, plus concern that HIMS might not beat estimates for Q3, triggered panic and crushed sentiment. Since many people focus on that post from HIMS House, I want to give my take. Let's start with the so-called slowdown in the core business. Yes, it's true that in the last earning call, management mentioned a decline in their on-demand sexual app subscriber base, but that decline is intentional. HIMS is deliberately pushing customers toward daily sexual health offerings, which not only bring in higher revenue, but also improve retention. During the call, they said, "We expect headwinds from the rotation of our sexual health specialty toward more premium daily offerings for the next couple of quarters, but are excited to see over 40% of total sexual health subscribers and roughly 65% of new sexual subscribers benefiting from a daily offering." So, this decline is actually part of the plan. Now, let's talk about GLP-1, definitely one of the highlights for HIMS. In Q2, it continued to grow and now accounts for roughly 35% of total revenue. That said, this over-reliance shouldn't be overestimated. Maybe in the next few quarters, GLP-1 will take an even larger share, but within 12 or 18 months, things are going to flip. GLP-1s are just a small specialty within the broader HIMS platform, the same way books were just the start for Amazon's e-commerce. As HIMS launches more and more verticals, that will become obvious. During Q3, HIMS launched hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for both men, testosterone, and women, including menopause and perimenopause care. And that's just the beginning. At the start of 2026, HIMS plans to introduce lab testing, which will bring a massive new layer of data to the platform. More importantly, that data will allow HIMS to serve customers proactively, not just react when something goes wrong. Then, later in 2026, HIMS plans to enter the longevity and preventive care space. Lab testing plus longevity will transform HIMS into a proactive health platform, a place people use to monitor their health and prevent issues before they even arise. HIMS has already hinted at bundling regular lab tests and personalized treatments into a subscription, and honestly, I think that could become one of the most valuable subscriptions in the world. And here is something I want to emphasize. HIMS is a platform. The comparisons to Netflix and Amazon in their early days make total sense. Each HIMS verticals is like one of the shows on Netflix. Right now, GLP-1 is the big hit everyone is watching, but over time, more and more will come, and each new show increases the patient outcome per dollar spent. Andrew Dudum himself often highlights the similarities with those companies. Even HIMS' new director of engineering said, "Joining HIMS and Earth feel like joining Amazon back when they were just selling books. The surface area of where we are going is so much greater than what we are doing today." And one more incredible data point. Earth, the women's segment, is on track to deliver over $1 billion in revenue next year. That's just insane. Without even getting into peptides or other future tailwinds, what we can already see today is enough to understand that HIMS will be much bigger than it is right now. New verticals, lab testing, the expansion of the subscriber base, more personalized treatments, these are the things that will truly scale the business. And one of the next big catalysts is international expansion. Affordable, immersive, and customer-centric healthcare is in demand worldwide, and HIMS is building an infrastructure that can be replicated globally. Most likely, international growth will come through acquisition, and the company made it clear. Expansion becomes even more powerful when done under a brand people already know and trust. The Zava acquisition is already proving valuable. It will help HIMS expand into Canada in 2026, then Latin America, with Brazil likely being the entry point, and eventually into Asia. In the Q2 call, HIMS say they expect Q3 revenue between $570 million and $590 million, with the midpoint representing 45% year-over-year growth. It seems like many investors will only look at the top-line revenue in this next report, but let's be clear. Selling HIMS just because it might not beat estimates while still growing around 40% year-over-year will be a massive mistake. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that by 2030, HIMS will be much, much bigger than it is today. Thinking in quarters is almost always a mistake, and this time will be no exception. So that's a wrap for today. I hope I managed to clearly explain why I'm so bullish on HIMS and why I have absolutely no intention of selling, even if this quarter result turned out to be less than amazing. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time.